All right, we're back again. This is Mike Wall. Welcome to another episode of the Agent Revolution podcast presented by Mike Wall Live, the place where we deconstruct the biggest challenges facing today's real estate agents so that they can build a sustainable, profitable, and most of all, fulfilling real estate business. Today, we are talking seller lead generation, how to get more listings, right? The biggest challenge in today's marketplace is there's just not enough inventory, right? There's a lot of buyers, a lot of demand for housing, and just not enough inventory to satiate that demand. And so I'm going to share with you today how we're adding an additional 3 to 4 listings each and every month, just by doing this simple protocol. And I'll walk you through it, and hopefully it'll make sense to you. And this is something that you can implement right away into your business, and start adding those listings in like we do. So one thing I want you to keep in mind, I do additional training. It's available over at www.mikewalllive.com. There's actually 8 hours worth of free training over there that you can register for and take anytime you want. Without further ado, let's dive right into to generating listings in a market where inventory is extremely scarce. Today what I want to do is I'm going to do some screen shares with you so that you can kind of see some of the different strategies that we're employing. We use a software called the Mojo Dialer, and some of you may be familiar with that, and some of you may not. And so I'm kind of going to walk you through that and show you how we use it. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the data that we put into that software, and some of the people that we're calling. The really cool thing about the Mojo Dialer is it allows you to call a large amount of people in a short amount of time. And it's a triple line dialer. So it's calling 3 phone numbers at one time. And I know a lot of you are asking, I always get this question. I always get the question, well, what if 2 people answer at the same time? And what happens is they will give you one of the callers, and then there's a pre-recorded message for the other one that essentially says, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Let me call you right back, right? Or I have a bad connection. Let me call you right back. And then what happens is to that second caller goes into a queue, and you and as soon as you hang up with the individual that you got on the phone, the person in the queue is now in front of you and ready to talk. So now that we have that out of the way, let's dive right in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and I think it's going to work. Yep, here we go. So here's the Mojo Dialer. This is what it looks like. This is a service, I think, that if you don't have, you can sign up for. And I think the seat without any data is, I think it's around $159 a month. And that includes the triple line dialer. Essentially, it operates as a CRM, right? It's a contact relationship manager. And you can see this is the home page here. And you go into the data and dialer section. This is where all the magic happens right here. So as you can see on the far left, we have our prospect calling list, right? You can see all the expired and for sale by owner data is populated in here about 6:30 every morning, I believe. So by the time we hit the phones at 8 or 8:30, all of the most recent data has already been uploaded, and we can just call away. Here's the thing. So I'm going to show you 2 different things. I'm going to show you neighborhood prospecting, which to me, I think can still be effective. It is not as effective as the motivated seller list, the proprietary list that we use, simply because it's when you're calling into a neighborhood, it's like opening up a phone book and just making phone calls, right? It's just calling one person after another and hoping somebody might be interested in selling their home in the future. And with the motivated seller list, we pay for a proprietary list that includes divorce or probate or pre-foreclosure, right? There's a much higher likelihood that when you connect with one of these people, that they are ready to sell their home. And that's extremely important, because again, you've essentially, what you've done is you've taken every potential homeowner in your area, and you're giving them a really good score that the likelihood of that individual, when you call them, because of the data, right, because of their distressed situation or whatever that situation is, they are more likely to tell you yes, that they're interested in selling their home. So the caveat to this whole video is making sure that you have good quality data, and if you don't have access to that you are you're on a team like ours that does provide that for our agents, and if because if you don't have the resources, it can get pretty expensive, because you pay for it per record. So I'm going to dive right in here. You can see on the list here. So what we do is we create these lists, these call lists, and the list that we're calling is called our motivated seller list. We have both Columbus and then Dayton in here, and then I think we have Cincinnati as well. That's not loaded in here right now, but I'm just going to show you the motivated seller list for our area here in Dayton, and you can see there's 104,665 entries. So there's no shortage of data. There's plenty of people that you can call, and again, these people that are in our database here, they have some sort of situation that that when you call them, that again, the likelihood of them wanting to meet with you is going to be much higher because of their current financial situation, or their personal situation in the case of divorce or probate. And so again, when we're calling these, if I go in and I select this whole list and then I go to the power dialer, right, and I hit selected records, here's what it's going to pull up, and I'll walk you through this. There it goes. Sorry. And so you can see, right, I've selected, you've got to have a caller ID in here. You can drop a voicemail if you want to without actually having to leave a voicemail. It's just a pre-recorded voicemail that if you hit drop message, this button right here, it'll drop the voicemail in there for you. This is the callback message that I was telling you about when we started the conversation. So bad connection, and then you can call 3 lines at one time. It'll allow 6 rings, and then it'll move on to the next caller. You can actually have a script here too for expireds or farm calling or just solds or old expireds if you want to. If you're maybe newer at this and you just want to have some sort of a benchmark or guideline to follow. And then what you do is you just, if I hit, start power dialer, then it's going to have me call a number, and then I'll instantly be connected to my list here of 104,000 people. And you can see these boxes up here. What happens when you get somebody live is that you'll see the 3 numbers right here that it's calling. And so what'll happen is like 1, 2, 3, these 3 people right here will be in the box until, it either rings 6 times and then goes on to the next one, or somebody picks up. So let me close this out. And then if you go into an individual record here, when the caller who connects on the other end of the phone, when they answer the phone, the system will automatically show you this data, right? So then I can see who the person is, where they live, if I've called them before, any notes I have on them, and then I can set a destination for this, right? I can send it to wherever I want to, right? Or trash the lead if it's not any good. But again, we're getting a pretty high hit rate on these right now, because again, when we call these, the data's been optimized. It's not just opening a phone book and calling. These people are in either a legal or financial hardship, and they need to, on some level, they need to sell a home more than likely. Not everybody does, but we're getting a really good hit rate on these. And that's why, as I say before, you can add an additional 3 to 4 listings every single month just by calling these and then nurturing them properly. And when I say nurture, not everybody's ready to go right now, although we'd like them to be. In some cases, you're talking to people that may be a month or 3 months or 6 months out, and then you've got to nurture, you've got to earn the right to do business with that person. And so some of the things you'd want to do at that point is maybe take them back over to a system like we have Commissions Inc., where you can enter them into the system and set them up on a home evaluation, and then maybe send some collateral, right? A listing packet, seller packet with your business card, and then just be able to stay in touch with them, right? Consistently with the home evaluation report, because that sends out automatically every month. And if you have questions about that, certainly feel free to reach out to me. If you don't have access to that at your brokerage and you're interested in learning more about, some of the tools and systems we use, I'd be happy to show you exactly what we do, full transparency, and how we put 31 homes under contract last month, and how we're winning probably 85 to 90% of our multiple offer situations, and just continuing to grow out the seller lead generation side of your business, because certainly the person in this market who owns the listings, they own the market. Because buyers, they don't have a lot to choose from right now. And you may get into a situation where you're writing 3 or 4, 5 offers for a buyer and losing out in multiple offers. And if you didn't see my video last week or the week before that on winning multiple offer situations, feel free to check that out. And hopefully that can add some value to you and helping you work with buyers. I think that, let me see. So one other thing I wanted to show you here too is like when you get this system, like you can buy the expired system, right? And there's 1,188. So this data is preloaded into the system, right? Mojo actually pushes this data into the system for us. We don't have to do that. The motivated seller data, we push that in as a CSV file, right? And so that comes in when you can hit import file and then bring that data in, and then you create a calling list and label it. And then that's how you know that you're calling that specific list. So I don't want you to, if you go out and you're going to acquire the Mojo Dialer, don't expect that the motivated seller data will come. That is a proprietary list that we buy. And again, if you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. And you can, with Mojo, I think it's like $50 extra a month or something. I can't recall right now, but anyway, the expired and for sell by owner data will pre-populate, and they will send that data into you. One other thing I'll show you just real quick, because we talked about this in our meeting today, this morning. Actually did a training on scripts and dialogues and talking to sellers. And so I'm going to show you this neighborhood search function. And I think this is really effective if you live in a neighborhood or you've gotten a listing in a neighborhood and you want to call the neighborhood. And if you live there, you want to introduce yourself, obviously, to all your neighbors. Nothing drives me crazier than when I drive through my neighborhood and I see somebody else's sign, just because I didn't build relationships with those people. And, real estate is all about building relationships, and every relationship starts from a conversation. And the easiest way to scale the number of conversations is still to this day by calling people. That's how you scale conversations, is making phone calls. And so what I'm going to show you here is I'll just do my address. And see, you can go in here, and if I do this, and you can see that total contact search, there's 425 people, 425 homeowners in this box right here that if I wanted to import, depending on whether I wanted to do the federal do not call list, and obviously, do that at your own at your caution if you do that. If you do that, that's something you have to take personal responsibility for. But anyway, my point is, again, this is a great way to get to know your neighborhood. And if I send that data over, what it'll give me is it'll give me the name of the individual, the address of the property they live in. It'll give me every phone number that they have on record. So it could be home phone, cell phone. And then if it has an email address, it'll send me that information as well if I want to do some email market to that individual. But that's it. Again, this is, in this business, you have to list to last. If you're struggling right now and you have never seen technology like this and are interested in learning more, please reach out to me. We are very transparent here. We're very pro agent. My goal is just to educate the real estate community. That's my purpose in this industry, is just to educate agents to go out and grow a business. Because I know that if I do that, they're going to provide a much better consumer experience, and it gives us all a better name. So, hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully that will, help you add an additional 1, 2, 3, 4 listings every single month to your pipeline. And, I hope that you can continue to crush it in this market. This market is very kind right now for sellers and not so kind for buyers. So if you can take this information, disseminate it, put it into action, you will definitely go out and list more property. So that's it for this one. As usual, I love doing these videos week after week, because I know this show is literally changing agents' financial lives, my own included. Do me a big favor. If you like the videos, if you like the podcast, please go to YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts and make sure and subscribe. That helps me out, and I will continue to put out great content for you. Don't forget, you can go get right now 8 additional hours of free real estate business training at MikeWallLive.com. And if you're interested in meeting with me to learn more about our seller lead generation programs or our buyer lead generation programs, you can schedule a 30-minute one-on-one with me, directly with me, if you just go to meetmikewall.com. And that is it for this one. Have a great day.